y'all, this is Bethany from Southern Couture. So I'm really excited today to be doing a fun process video for you guys as I'm working through the Illustrated Faith Wholehearted devotional, and I just love it. Becca is really just pouring her heart out to us, and I'm loving soaking it all in. So make sure that you have grabbed the devotional. The kits are already sold out, but Illustrated Faith does always have the devotional content in the booklet here that I'm going to be showing you. They have it in digital version all the time, so you can go and grab it and download it. There's a link down below to their shop in the description. And they also have a few of the little a la carte items that you could get that they had extra inventory of. So at the time I'm recording this, I know they have washi, they have the little traveler's notebook, and I'm not sure what else. I think they have some of these little, like the little word phrases here, these right here. So, you know, the hand lettered ones. So just go over there and check that out. If there's something that you missed and you didn't get it and you want to, I would love for you to grab it and join all of us as well. But I'm going to go ahead and start, and I'm working on just the first devotional here with Seek. And I'm going to be going over and going to the prompt in 1 John where it talks about that God is greater than our worried hearts, and he knows more about us than we do ourselves. And she tells us to really bring the heavy, the hard, the not so pretty questions to him and trust him with them. And so I have my devotional here, and I pulled my Bible that I want to work in. This is those illuminated, the Crossway Illuminated Scripture Journals. This is got 1st through 3rd John in it. So, oops, I was going to show you kind of an idea of my page, but see how they're really thin. And I've shown these recently. My husband surprised me at my birthday in December and got them for me, which was so sweet. And so I've been using them for my devotionals this year so far and loving it. I love how small they are. You can take it anywhere, travel with it, whatever the case may be. And so what I'm doing here for what I thought about on this page is something very simple, but I love these hearts that we got in the kit, these little fabric textured hearts. And one thing I really love is this fun rainbow pattern right here of the alpha. And so I want to use that in my page. This clip here is just to hold it down because I have done an entry a couple pages back, actually a couple days ago. And so it's just kind of wanting to pop up. So that's just to hold that down. And I'm going to put this here for my reference for those colors that we're doing. But what I wanted to do is I picked the hearts out of it, and I'm putting them in the order that it kind of came in, so you'll see what my thought is. And I'm going to have this almost like a rainbow coming up over this page. When I think about, you know, we're talking about, you know, seeking and having God seek our hearts and show us as we seek our hearts what we need to trust him with and all of that. One thing that I think about is this. She says that God is greater than our worried hearts, and it says here, and I'll read it real quick because I don't want to skip that. In 1 John 3:20, for whenever our heart condemns us, God is greater than our heart. He knows everything. And so when I think about, you know, being worried and really trusting God and letting go of that, to me it reminds me of like a burden being lifted. And so I love this like effect of these hearts coming up. As God seeks our heart, those burdens are being lifted, almost like it does look a lot like a rainbow, right? With that arch and the promises of God. And all of that just kind of stood out to me. So that's what I want to focus on my page. I have one of the little hand lettered die cuts that says, "You know my heart," because that is exactly what we're talking about here. And I plan on putting that, probably layering that down, and then underneath having some of these really fun accents of the stamps that came with the kit. I'm using my VersaFine pigment ink, which I absolutely adore for getting really sharp details. And I don't know, I may add in some of these fun stickers that came in the kit, but that's kind of my thought process. I gotta use the washi in the kit because it's my absolute favorite. And let's just go from there. I can't decide if I want this washi though to be down here at the top. I'm thinking I may put it in the in that spine there, or should I put it on this side? That's what I want to know. Because I don't want it to be like too much taken away from this one. Okay, I think I'll put it right there. So let's go ahead, and now that we kind of have, this is the way I kind of work. This gives you a good idea of my thought process, so that you kind of see how a page comes together, because I have to kind of not write it out, plan it all out like that. I just like to do that and have an idea before I go putting stuff down on the page. So I'm going to try to get this in here. And I don't try to make this perfect. You all know that. I like to do it live like this too, because I feel like it just gives a real idea of how a page comes together, that it's not going to be perfect. Because what you might see a lot of times, of course, in a, well, it would help if I had my scissors, wouldn't it, guys? And some adhesive. But like what you might see in a picture or on Instagram or wherever, a lot of times is not the case, right? It looks like it was so simple, or not simple, but flawless. And there's a process, right, to get to it. So we've got our little heart margin. How cute is that? I'm in love with these hearts. I feel like I need to go get some more of the washi, because I feel like it's going to be gone in no time. So it's a little bit crooked probably, but that's all right. I'm going to go ahead and get the stamp out, because I know I want to put a lot of these marks down before I even put anything else. And one thing I like to do kind of also is work in threes, have groupings of threes. So I had my hearts on my phrase. I'm going to have some grouping down here, right in here, and up here at the top. And so that was, I'd kind of already played around with that, or looking at it as I was planning this page. So if you're wondering, that's why. All right. And I just put a little bit of ink on there. Ooh, one thing I do like to do is have something underneath it, so that I don't like stamp on extra pages, you know, on the sides or whatever, just in case. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it now, because I don't know that exact spot that I actually had it, and that's okay. And I might have smeared that one just a little, but let's go ahead and come down here, and we'll stamp that one. And like stamping off on the page too, like having a few little extras sometimes where it's like the ink is fading, I think that's a lot of fun too, where you're not just doing a perfect inking every time. And I'm going to clean these better once we get done, but for sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and move on and do a few other little fun details. Now, if you had some colored stamps, that would be really fun to do too. If you were working with like these outlines and filling it in, you could do something like that. That would be really fun. But these hearts, I mean, they're just too cute. So you see what I'm talking about when you're inking off, maybe not necessarily going back and reapplying. Even that, how cute is that? So we did full color, then like it's been stamped off a little bit, and then just an outline, and that was just by accident. So I'm telling you guys, sometimes it's fun just to do that, play around and see what happens, because it doesn't have to be perfect. I think a lot of times our best pages come from just letting go of all that, right? Okay, we can, so I think the trick is like after 3-4 times, you'll get that little outline. That's kind of cool. I'm glad I did that. Okay, one other thing that I did want to add is a title up here using these phrases. And so I'm gonna just use this one that said, "Seek my heart." I think that's what I want to do. There we go. And then we'll just line these up kind of how we want it. And like I say, I don't try to worry about it being perfect. One thing I will say is sometimes you get this all down, and then you go to put your like layers on top, and it sometimes just doesn't quite turn out. Like the positioning is not always just perfect, but that's okay. So all my really smart stamp like people that love to stamp and are really good at it say to like blot that off on your skin, because that dirt, I guess, will kind of help the ink cling to it. So that's why I'm doing that. Ooh, yeah. This one I'm like really having to press and make sure. So I really need to make sure I do that probably next time. So on this one, I'm just gonna put it right up here at this top corner. There's something really satisfying, guys, when you get a really nice, crisp ink on the page, a stamp. I mean, I love it. I'm obsessed when that happens. Okay, so I'm gonna get my stamps off real quick, and then we'll start putting down these elements, and you'll see how quick this page comes together. Like, this is not something that has to take forever. I mean, if you have that time, that's great, but if you don't, you know, don't feel like you're pressured to get out all the supplies if you can't. You know what I mean? It's just about getting in here in the Word. You wouldn't even have to do any of this extra stuff if you just wanted to just read and write some notes. So on this one, I was wanting to put the arrow because I'm going to mark that verse 20 and then have that there. I'm just not really sure how that's going to do good with the way this journal is made. I feel like it's going to... I feel like I'm not going to get a great impression. Does that make sense? Let me try it. I put something under it, like, you know, to help. Let's put the ink or the stamp on this other end. I think that's going to make it easier. But I'm trying to, you know, get it to where it builds it up a little bit, and then we can just stamp just like that. And I think that's going to be good. I think that will work. Okay. So let's put that down. Oops. Sorry, guys. And hope for the best. Yay! Okay, so I like that. That's really cute. I really, really wanted to use this big, you know, right here, this big squiggly one, but I was kind of nervous with the placement of the way that was going to be kind of hard to work, to stamp on that page with the binding. I was afraid it would really be difficult, and I didn't have a ton of space. So that's why I just kind of went with that and left it. And I think I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not going to add any more of these other little doodles because I don't want it to become, you know, too crazy or too busy. And now we're just going to work on getting the rest of these elements down. And so these are fabric. There was a little bit of confusion, I think, about if these were stickers or not. And they are not stickers. They are just die cuts with a fabric texture on top. And so what's good is that, first of all, I don't feel quite so blonde because if y'all remember in my unboxing, I was like trying to peel them off, and I felt blonde that if they were, like, hello, why are you incapable of getting the backing off? But they're not. So you just put a little adhesive on the back and that works. Now, leave, like, if you want to kind of tuck it under, don't put too much adhesive right in that corner. And that way you can peel it up and still put your next one down. And I've got to reference my rainbow cover over here to make sure that I'm going in the right order. Okay, so I'm just keeping going with this layers. You see how I'm really wanting to make sure I get this turned and have a good rainbow arch on it. And now we're going to switch to kind of the smaller one. I like how it goes to that kind of change where I get a little bit smaller of hearts. Okay. And now we have, uh-oh, I put too much on that one. No, okay, I got it. Just kind of tuck that in right there. There we go. I'm just loving that. Okay, so now we've got this, you know, my heart. And I'm going to put it right there and let it kind of hang off the page if it wants to. And then I may have to add, like, well, I won't add any more detail there. We'll just go ahead and put it down, and then I'll see if there's too much blank space. I may want to, you know, kind of add something another. I'm not crazy either, just while we're doing this, about putting tons and tons of extra, or putting tons of adhesive on every little bit of it, because sometimes I like that it doesn't go down completely flat and it pops up in, like, on the edges. It's just me personally, so just something that I like to do in case you want to try it. Like certain elements, it's fun, like these. See how they're kind of like coming up off the page? I like that kind of look. Okay, let's put this back because that's getting on my nerves. Now we've got this down. I'm going to actually use this space right here to write out just a little, you know, little prayer or thought. And I will do that afterwards because I really want to make sure I get my words right and what I want to say without trying to do it on camera, you know, and rushing. Then one other thing I do want to go in with is my little stencil, if I can find what I did with it. It's got the diamonds, and I just was using it last night. If I can't find it, I will add them later, or I may just freehand them. I like how crisp they look. Okay, I'm just gonna freehand them because I cannot find them right now. And let's see, I think what I wanted to do, I've been loving just adding a little bit of detail like to the, where the ink is. And I think that's what this needs right here. So that's what I'm going to do, is just kind of add a little bit of something here with some like extra marks. Let that kind of just hang there off the page. All right, there, we got that. Now I'm gonna go back with, put it in my phrase in just a minute right here on my little word, but I wanna go back. I love the highlighter washi from Illustrated Faith that DaySpring carries. I will have a link to it down below, of course, where you can go and grab some if you're interested, but I love this stuff because it's like, it's called highlighter washi because you can see through it. I know I've talked about it a lot before probably, but what I love about it is that it's really fun for little accents too. So I love tearing it off and making like small crosses to put here and there on the page. And so that's kind of what I'm gonna do real quick, is just add some of that. So I'll do that, put my date stamp, and then I will be done. And you'll see this page was very simple. I mean, before I started the video, I just kind of looked through the supplies, had an idea of what I would want to, you know, make the page look like, so that you guys weren't having to, you know, sit and watch me fumble through all of that. And that's it. So really simple. I just encourage you with that to get into the Word. Don't compare yourself. Don't feel like you need to have all the goodies and all the art supplies out. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm trying to kind of use all the colors that are on here, but some of these aren't just like a perfect match. So I think I'm gonna finish it off probably with this last color because I want it to, you know, somewhat look right here. Okay. I think that looks good. Let's have, actually, we need something else up there, don't we? Let's do another one of that color because I like that one. Okay, now we have it. So I loved, though, Rebecca was talking about this, you know my heart. And God already knows your heart, right? He knows, but we want him to seek our heart. I do, and show me what it is. I need to seek out my heart. Show me what it is that needs to be cleaned up. If there's questions or worries or things that are unanswered, you know, that I will get to the root of that and really figure out what is going on. So when she said that, like, it kind of already lifts a burden off your shoulders that you're not sitting around trying to be perfect, right? You're not trying to get your act together and be this perfect heart and perfect person, you know, and before you can even go to God. Like, he wants you to bring the mess. He wants you to bring that and be dependent on him and seek after him for what his plans are. And so it really lifts a burden off of me already. And then going to him about it, it just, you know, it's just amazing. And I just love that he cares about us that much to want us to do that. What a loving, loving Father he really is. So, okay. I just, you know, my spotty dot. I had to add a little bit of that in there. I love that little accent on the page. You see, I didn't use a ton of it because I need to get some more, and I'm like holding on to it for dear life. So anyways, all right, guys, that is the page. I'm going to add my little prayer right there. Also probably mark off my verse with a pen, and I will be done. So that is the first devotional. Make sure you head over and grab the devotional. You can still get it at the time I'm recording the notebook, but you can also get it digitally, the washi, and some of the other pieces that came in the kit. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you're subscribed. Click that bell icon so you'll know when the next video is coming out. And I will see y'all then. I hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.